This is Dominic from 40kfrog.com and welcome to our first battle report. This game will see Taus allied with Tyranids versus Dark Angels allied with Dark Eldars. This is a game that features armies built with 1250 points each, so we've got 2500 points on each side. So let's see the armies. Here we have 9 reaver bikes, 6 normals and 3 with caltrops. And then we have 1 unit of Rex with the HQ, which is in homunculi, and 2 liquefier guns. Then we have 1 unit of witches, 1 succubi and 2 hydra gauntlets. And the 3 monstrous creatures are 2 talos and 1 chronos. For the Dark Angels, we have 1 squad of terminators with 2 thunderhammer and storm shields, followed by 1 squad of devastators with 4 missile launchers, and unfortunately no flags for this game. 1 squad of terminators, 1 thunderhammer and storm shield, and 1 cyclone missile launcher. Next in reserve we have 1 squad of terminators joined by Belial. With his Sword of Silence, the Terminators have 1 autocannon and 3 Thunderhammer and Storm Shields. Now for the Taus and the Tyranids, we have 12 Fire Warriors with 1 Marker Light on the top of the building. In the crater behind, we have 12 more Fire Warriors with 1 Marker Lights. The Orcs are proxying for Vespid, so there's 2 units of 10 figurine. Then we have 3 squads of heavy sniper drone and 1 XV8 with broadsides. The Warlord is currently out of sight, but it's also an XV8 with broadsides if I'm not mistaken. In reserve there was gun drone squads that were coming in deep strike. For a Tyranid we have 1 Flyrant with 2 twin-link devourers with brain leech, 1 Tervigon with crushing claws, toxin sacs and adrenal glands. This one will proxy as a Flyrant with 2 twin-link devourers and with brain leech, 1 Tervigon with crushing claws, toxin sacs and adrenal glands. Everyone will roll on the biomancy table. And at the back, on the other side of this area, there are 2 zoanthropes, so surprise surprise, there are no Doom of Malantai for today, which is usually something that occurs regularly for this Tyranid player. So the Taud and the Tyranids will roll for the initiative steal, and we'll see what happened on the big black die. It's a failure with a 2. Okay, here we have Belial with his squad of Terminator that deep striked in the backfield and fired on the Warlord on the other side, trying to get the first 3 points and failed. Here we have the 2 squads of Terminator that walked forward and ran, as well as the Dark Eldars that did the same thing. So everyone foot slugged a little bit forward. And then here we have the Devastator that fired their 4 missiles at the XV8, our unit up there, and made no injuries. As was to be expected, the Space Marine, the Terminator at the back, were attacked by everything that was in the backfield of the Taus and the Tyranids, and obviously they were obliterated. But Belial survived until the end and was the last unit to be killed by the last monstrous creature on the other side. So right now the Taus and Tyranid leads the game 4-0. Good job. Okay, here everything continued to walk forward. The bikes got back a little bit to get in a better position. There's one of the monstrous creature, I think it's the Chronos, that fired at the top of the building on the other side, and I think killed 1 figurine, sorry. The Space Marine there, the Terminator fired at the Warlord again, to no effect, and these Terminators fired at the Zoanthrope through a tiny hole that can't be seen right now. They next tried an assault on the Zoanthrope, which they failed by ½ an inch. Okay, here one of the Flyrant reached the Terminators and killed 4 of them. I think they were also attacked by the Zoanthrope, which we can't see on the right. And here the Fire Warriors and the Vespids fired at one of the Talos. The Vespids had their AP3 weapons, so the Talos was left only with his feel no pains chances to survive the attack. This Terminator with Cyclone Missile Launcher fired once again at the Warlord on the other side to no effect. By the way, we're playing night fighting. Then these Devastators also fired at the Warlord on the other side to no effect once again. The Terminators fired at the Vespids that were there. They killed 3 of them and then failed their assault. The Witches succeeded their assault, so we were lucky enough to get our first point. So it won't be a shutout. It's currently 5-1 for the Tyranids and the town. Okay, in this location, a huge attack occurred on the Dark Eldars. So the whole unit of Raks and Witches were decimated. So we imagine that the area between the Terminators and the Vespids is a huge, bloody and fleshy area, so the Terminator would probably slide down if they walked over there. There's always something wild that happened at each game, and this week it's this Flyrant that succeeded 3 regeneration with 3 6s. Okay, here we have 4 Terminators that are still alive, that are locked in combat with the guns and Turvigon. Then we have the Flyrant that was grounded the turn before by missile fire and a failed airworthiness check. So 1 Talos was killed in that combat. And here we had all the Dark Eldar bikers that were killed in close combat by these creatures, and the only one that survived fled to this area. Okay, turn 5. I missed a few steps, so we're now at turn 5. So 1 Gaunt unit was killed by the Terminators over there, and the Flyrant here killed the last Terminator that was locked in combat with it. So that's turn 5. So this is the end of the game, and this area had 1 monstrous creature and a few Terminators left, and they were killed by the joined forces of the Taos and the Tyranids. Well, the game was pretty one-sided. It ended with a wipe on turn 6, which was probably decided right from my move at the start with my Terminators in the backfield of the Tau and the Nids. So we had 1 more point to the other team for a 15-3, a total massacre. So this is our first battle report from 40kfrogs.com. I hope you enjoyed it. I may be a little bit soft-spoken, so I'll try to be a little more lively on my next installment. And I also noticed that the camera views are not excellent with filming with an iPad, so I'm in the process of trying to acquire a camcorder in order to get better views of the table and try to offer you something more interesting. So take care and see you next time.